Let's talk about Donald J. Trump, a man who divides opinion like few others. He's the cilantro of presidents. Some think he's great, others can't stand him. Was he a champion of the forgotten man, or just looking out for his own? In this video, we'll break down 10 points that reveal what Trump really thinks about the poor. Let's get started. Number 10, Trump has often claimed that the wealthy excel in business, leadership, and life, suggesting that poor people simply aren't the best negotiators. Critics argue he saw the less fortunate as easier to persuade or manipulate, a view that shaped his approach. He frequently implied the rich are rich because they're smarter, and the poor are not. Trump trusted the wealthy to create jobs and drive the economy. His cabinet choices reflected this belief, favoring business leaders and billionaires. Critics call this approach paternalistic, while supporters see it as practical and effective. In Trump's world, the best people are always the rich people. Number 9. In 2017, Trump made headlines with a statement that revealed his perspective on leadership and wealth. "I love all people, rich or poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person." He was referring to key economic roles in his administration. Trump argued that managing the economy required someone who understood making money, like billionaire Wilbur Ross, his pick for Commerce Secretary. Critics quickly pointed out that this attitude suggested only the wealthy deserved a seat at the table. Many questioned how policies for the poor could be made if no one in power had ever faced real financial hardship. That single remark summed up Trump's controversial approach to leadership and representation. Number 8. Trump promised to bring jobs back to America's heartland, speaking directly to communities hit by lost factories. He made bold claims at rallies, assuring workers that he would restore the industries that once powered their towns. He vowed to revive manufacturing, steel, coal, and cars, not just economic theory, but real jobs, real paychecks, and real hope for struggling families. Some jobs returned after trade deals were renegotiated, but the sweeping revival never fully materialized. Many factories remained shuttered, and automation continued to reshape the workforce. The promise was powerful, even if the results were mixed. For many, the hope lingered, but the reality was more complicated. Number 7. The 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was promoted as a game-changer for the middle class, promising more money in people's pockets. The administration claimed that cutting corporate taxes would boost jobs and wages, with benefits trickling down to everyone. But critics argued the biggest winners were corporations and the wealthy, not ordinary Americans. The top 1% saw their wealth surge, while many companies used tax savings for stock buybacks instead of hiring. Supporters point to economic growth, but critics call it a massive giveaway to the rich. Years later, the debate over who truly benefited remains as fierce as ever. Number 6. Trump's administration targeted SNAP, aiming to tighten eligibility and add work requirements, promoting the dignity of work. This move was part of a broader effort to reform welfare programs, sparking intense debate. Critics called it heartless, noting many recipients already worked low-wage jobs and faced barriers like unstable housing and childcare. The war on food stamps became a flashpoint in the battle over how to help the poor, highlighting the divide between policy intentions and real-world impacts. Number 5. Trump supporters highlight record-low unemployment before COVID-19 as a major achievement, pointing to a 50-year low in the jobless rate and historic gains for minorities. They argue this was proof of Trump's economic policies working for everyday Americans. However, critics note the downward trend began under Obama, and many of the new jobs were low-wage or part-time. Underemployment and economic insecurity remained high for millions, with many families still struggling to make ends meet. The debate over who deserves credit for the strong job market continues, with both sides claiming victory. For many, the numbers only tell part of the story, and the real impact is still up for debate. Number 4. Despite falling unemployment during his presidency, Donald Trump consistently opposed raising the federal minimum wage, a stance that sparked heated debate across the country. He argued that increasing wages would hurt small businesses, potentially leading to job losses, and instead preferred that states set their own minimum wage rates based on local economies. Supporters praised this as a pro-business approach, believing it would encourage economic growth and flexibility. Critics, however, argued it was anti-worker, pointing out that many Americans struggled as the minimum wage's buying power eroded over time. The debate over raising the minimum wage remains unresolved, with passionate arguments on both sides continuing to this day. Number 3, Trump's image is built on luxury. Golden penthouses, private jets, exclusive clubs. He's always surrounded by opulence, yet he became a hero to many in America's poorest communities. Trump claimed his immense wealth proved he couldn't be bought and that he knew how to succeed in a tough world. For his supporters, his lifestyle represented the American dream, taken to the extreme. Critics, however, argued it showed he couldn't relate to ordinary struggles. After all, how can someone who's never worried about a $400 emergency expense truly understand the poor? The contrast between his world and his base remains stark. Is he a champion for the poor, or just a master marketer? That question still divides America. Number 2. On election night 2016, Donald Trump stood before the nation and declared, "The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer." This powerful statement resonated deeply with many Americans, especially those who felt left behind. It captured the alienation and frustration felt by countless individuals in industrial towns and rural areas, who had long felt overlooked by politicians and the media. The forgotten American speech became a promise of recognition and hope. For millions, that was enough to earn their loyalty. Trump's words were a pledge that spoke directly to their struggles, dreams, and desire to be seen. Number 1. What's Trump's legacy on poverty? It's as divided as the nation itself, sparking heated debate across the country. Supporters hail him as a champion of the working class, pointing to record-low unemployment, deregulation, and a renewed focus on American jobs and manufacturing. Critics, however, argue that his policies favored the wealthy, with tax cuts for the rich and attempts to roll back the social safety net. For some, he was a populist hero. For others, a plutocrat in disguise. The debate over Trump's true impact on poverty continues, reflecting the deep divisions in American society. There you have it, 10 points that reveal the complex, often contradictory story of Trump and the poor. His presidency was filled with grand promises, bold rhetoric, and policies that sparked fierce debate. Did he fight for the poor, or use them to advance an agenda for the rich? Was he the people's champion or a master marketer? We've laid out the evidence. The verdict is yours.